Ladies and gentlemen, imagine standing at a crossroads in life facing two paths. One leads to success, growth, and fulfillment, while the other leads to mediocrity, frustration, and regret. The question is, which path will you choose? What separates winners from losers isn't just talent, luck, or circumstances. It's a series of choices, habits, and mindsets that define the journey. Winners don't just reach the finish line, they build a foundation for lasting success, even when the odds are stacked against them. Losers, on the other hand, allow setbacks to define them, giving into frustration and giving up before they ever reach their potential. In this video, we'll explore the key traits and decisions that make all the difference in achieving success. It's not about who's faster or smarter, it's about who's willing to do what it takes, no matter the obstacles. Stick around to discover what truly separates winners from losers and how you can apply these principles to your own life today. If there's one truth you must understand early on, it's this. Life doesn't treat everyone the same. Some people rise, others fall. Some build fortunes, while others create regrets. Some design lives they're proud of, while others simply endure the lives they've been handed. And here's the key. It's not about talent, luck, or the circumstances you were born into. It's about the choices you make with what you have right now. Winners and losers face the same challenges. They wake up to the same sun, endure the same storms, and wrestle with the same doubts. Yet one group rises above while the other remains stuck. So why does this difference seem invisible at first? It's because it's the daily disciplines that go unnoticed. It's the small responsibilities that no one applauds. It's the habits, the mindset, the philosophy that either quietly builds a successful life or slowly erodes it. In this message, we're going to uncover the real difference. Not the fairy tale version, not the myth of overnight success, but the hard truth about what separates winners from losers. If you listen carefully, you'll discover simple, powerful adjustments you can make starting today that will position you on the winning side for the rest of your life. So if you're ready to stop guessing, stop waiting, and start building a life worth celebrating, stay with me. The journey begins now. Winners are made through small choices. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in life is this: big success is hidden in small decisions. Every day, every hour, every choice. Most people believe success is the result of one dramatic, life-changing decision. They picture a grand moment, a lucky break, a sudden miracle, or a bold announcement, but that's not how winners are made. Winners are made quietly, in the background, long before the applause comes. It's not the mountains that defeat people, it's the pebbles in their shoes. And it's not the major disasters that derail success, it's the 1,000 tiny missteps along the way. Small choices, small disciplines, small sacrifices, that's where winners are born. Let me explain it this way. Every small decision you make either builds or erodes your future. Every choice is like a vote for the person you are becoming. When you choose to wake up early instead of sleeping in, that's a small win. When you decide to study for an hour instead of scrolling through your phone, that's a small win. When you save a little instead of spending everything, that's a small win. And these small wins accumulate day by day, choice by choice. You are shaping your destiny, whether you realize it or not. Now here's the danger. The small, bad choices don't seem harmful in the moment. Skipping your workout today? No big deal. Eating that extra slice of cake? What harm could it do? Postponing an important call until tomorrow? It'll be fine. But here's the truth. Failure doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks up on you, one day at a time. Neglect is like an infection. Painless at first, but deadly later. And the opposite is just as true. Success doesn't appear overnight either. It grows quietly. It grows in the early mornings when no one is watching. It grows during those quiet study sessions when everyone else is out having fun. It grows in the discipline to say no when the crowd says yes. That's why I always tell people, success is easy to do, but just as easy not to do. That's the paradox. A 15-minute walk is easy. Skipping it is easier. Reading 10 pages of a good book is easy. Turning on the TV is easier. Saying thank you is easy. Forgetting gratitude is easier. The little disciplines, the tiny habits, the quiet commitments, that's where the real battle is fought. You don't become a winner because of one big day. You become a winner because of thousands of small days where you did what others weren't willing to do. Now, here's what I want you to remember. Every day you are casting votes. You're voting with your habits, you're voting with your attitude, you're voting with your work ethic, and at the end of the day, you're voting with your results. Your life will reflect the votes you cast. Winners don't win because they want it more. Winners win because they choose it more in the smallest of ways. So ask yourself, what small choices am I making today? Are they bringing me closer to the life I want, or are they quietly moving me further away from it? Because in the end, you don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. Start winning the small battles, my friends. Start honoring small commitments. Start valuing small disciplines, because that's where the miracle begins. And when the miracle comes, and it will, you'll realize it was never just one big decision. It was thousands of small, faithful choices that added up to a life worth celebrating. Winners understand this. Now, so do you. Winners embrace responsibility. Losers make excuses. Let me offer you a philosophy that could change your life if you allow it to. Winners take responsibility. Losers make excuses. It's as simple and as powerful as that. You see, life presents challenges to all of us. No one escapes. The rich and the poor, the educated and the uneducated, the strong and the weak. Life isn't about avoiding obstacles. It's about how you choose to respond to them. Here's the truth. You can either make progress or make excuses, but you can't do both. Winners understand this. They look at their results, good or bad, and say, I created this. I am responsible for this. And if I don't like it, I can change it. Losers, on the other hand, are always pointing fingers. It's the economy, it's my boss, it's my parents, it's bad luck. It's just how the world works. Now listen closely. The moment you blame someone else for your situation, you give away your power to change it. You hand over control of your future. You make yourself a victim instead of a victor. You see, responsibility is not about fault. It's about ownership. Maybe it wasn't your fault. You were born into a difficult situation. Maybe it wasn't your fault that you lost your job or the economy turned against you, but it is your responsibility to decide what you do next. Winners accept this uncomfortable truth. I didn't choose everything that happened to me, but I absolutely choose my response. And that response, that ownership, changes everything. Because when you take responsibility, you take back your power. When you say, this is my life and I will not outsource my destiny to anyone else, you become unstoppable. What's fascinating is that most excuses sound reasonable. They sound logical. They sound justified. But here's what you must understand. Excuses may provide temporary relief, but they'll cost you your future. You don't have the luxury of sitting around explaining why you're stuck. You have work to do. You have dreams to pursue. You have a life to build. Now you might ask, how can I tell if I'm making excuses? It's simple. Pay attention to your language. Winners say, here's what I'm doing about it. Losers say, here's why I can't do anything about it. Look at your focus. Winners focus on solutions. Losers focus on problems. Look at your energy. Winners use their energy to create change. Losers use their energy to explain why change is impossible. And here's the truth. The more responsibility you take, the more freedom you'll feel. When you stop waiting for others to fix things, you stop waiting altogether. You begin to move forward, you start growing, and you begin to win. Responsibility may feel heavy at first, but it's this very weight that strengthens you. It's the burden that transforms into a blessing. You must be willing to say, I am responsible for my habits. I am responsible for my mindset, my skills, my choices, and my direction. Because if you won't own it, you can't change it. And if you can't change it, you'll remain stuck, blaming, complaining, and shrinking your life one excuse at a time. So I'll leave you with this. Winners build their lives on the solid foundation of responsibility, while losers build theirs on the shaky ground of excuses. Which foundation are you building on? Your future's waiting for your answer. Winners value time, losers waste it. Here's something we all have in common. Time. No matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances are, you get 24 brand new hours every single day. But here's the catch. It's not about how much time you get. It's about how you use it. Winners understand something that losers don't fully grasp. Time is life. Every minute you waste is a minute of life you'll never get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose possessions and buy them back. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. Winners wake up with a sense of urgency. They know that the clock is ticking, whether they act or not, and they choose to act. Losers, on the other hand, treat time like it's an endless resource. They say, I'll do it tomorrow, or there's always next week. But here's the truth. Someday isn't a day on the calendar. And the road called someday leads straight to a place called nowhere. Let me tell you something important. The future isn't some distant event. It's being created right now by how you use your next hour. You don't drift into success. You decide into success one moment at a time. Winners schedule their lives around what matters most. They don't leave their priorities to chance. They plan their days as carefully as an architect plans a building, with intention and purpose. Losers let the day happen to them. They react, scramble, waste hours on distractions, social media, gossip, TV, excuses, and then wonder why life isn't getting better. I'm not saying every minute has to be spent working. Rest has a place. Recreation has a place. But winners rest with purpose. Losers rest by default. You must ask yourself every day, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to the life I want, or is it taking me further away from the life I was meant to live? Because time doesn't shout when you're wasting it. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't send an alarm. Time slips away quietly, patiently, permanently. And one day you'll wake up and realize it wasn't a shortage of talent, opportunity, or luck. It was a shortage of wise decisions made with the time you were given. Here's a principle winners live by. The price of success is paid in hours, not in dreams. It's what you do with your mornings, how you spend your evenings, and what you do when no one is watching. Your calendar is a mirror. It reflects your true priorities. Not what you say matters, but what actually matters. Winners understand the value of their time like gold, while losers treat it like sand slipping through their fingers, thinking there's always more. So here's my challenge to you. Guard your hours the way you would guard your fortune, because in the end, your time is your fortune. Spend it wisely, invest it intentionally, protect it fiercely. How you spend your time, my friends, is how you spend your life. Winners are always learning, while losers assume they already know enough. One of the clearest dividing lines between success and failure is this: winners never stop learning. Losers think they've reached their limit. It's not intelligence that separates them. It's not degrees, certificates, or titles. It's the attitude, the mindset, hunger for growth. Here's what winners understand. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. Learning isn't just a phase that ends after school. Learning is a lifestyle. It's a commitment to stay curious, to stay humble, and to keep growing. Losers, however, reach a certain point and stop. They think, I know enough. They say, I've heard it all before. They believe there's nothing new under the sun. And that attitude locks the door to their future. The moment you stop learning, you start declining. Not immediately, but gradually, quietly, invisibly. While the world keeps moving forward, you begin to fall behind. The winners you admire, the top performers, the successful, the wise, they didn't stop learning once they made it. No, they keep reading, studying, listening, attending seminars, seeking mentors, and asking questions. They don't just work harder, they work smarter. And working smarter comes from learning faster. Now, here's the key truth. Learning is voluntary. No one will force you to do it. You must decide to keep your mind open. You must decide that growth is more important than comfort. Real learning is uncomfortable. It challenges your assumptions, stretches your thinking, and demands humility. The humility to say, maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's something I don't yet understand. Losers protect their pride. Winners protect their future. Ask yourself, am I spending more time defending what I already know or discovering what I do? Because the person who stops learning begins to defend. They defend their habits, their failures, their small thinking. And soon they're not growing, they're decaying. Learning doesn't have to be complicated. It's not about cramming information into your brain. It's about exposing yourself to new ideas. It's about reflecting on your experiences. It's about asking better questions. You can learn from a book, a mentor, a conversation. You can even learn from your mistakes if you're willing to listen. Life is the ultimate teacher, and every day offers a new lesson. If you're paying attention, you'll see it. Here's something to remember. Winners make their minds a library, while losers make their minds a museum. A library is alive, active, expanding. A museum is filled with relics of the past, dusty, outdated, forgotten. Which one are you building? If you want to win, commit to this simple rule. Never go to bed without learning something new that day. Learn a new idea, learn a new strategy, learn a new lesson from your wins and mistakes. Because the more you learn, the more you can earn. The more you grow inside, the more you can achieve outside. The more you evolve, the more value you bring to yourself, your family, and the world. Remember, the future belongs to the learners, not the know-it-alls. Winners stay teachable. Losers stay stubborn. Choose wisely. Winners master emotions. Losers are ruled by them. One of the most important lessons you'll ever learn in life is this. If you don't master your emotions will master you. And let me tell you, it's not talent that ruins people. It's not opportunity. It's not luck. It's emotions. Left unchecked, life will test you. People will offend you. Plans will fall apart. Disappointments will knock on your door when you least expect it. The difference between winners and losers isn't that winners avoid emotional storms. No, winners feel the fear, the anger, the discouragement, but they do not let it dictate their actions. Losers, on the other hand, let emotions run the show. They get upset and they quit. They get scared and they freeze. They get frustrated and they lash out. They let a moment of emotion destroy years of effort. Let me give you a truth worth writing down. You are not your emotions. You are the master of them if you choose to be. Emotions are powerful servants, but terrible masters. They are designed to inform you, not control you. Fear can alert you. Anger can energize you. Sadness can humble you. But when you act blindly out of emotion, you sabotage your own progress. Winners know how to pause. They know how to breathe. They know how to step back, reflect, and respond rather than react. See, it's easy to do the right thing when you feel good. Anybody can be patient when life is easy. Anybody can be kind when everyone is being kind to them. But true character, the kind that builds winners, is forged when emotions run high and you choose discipline over impulse. Emotional mastery isn't about suppression, it's about direction. It's not pretending you don't feel anger, it's learning to direct that anger into problem solving, into building, into growth. It's not pretending you aren't scared, it's facing your fear, standing tall, and taking the next step anyway. You don't overcome fear by feeling brave, you overcome fear by shouting louder. You overcome anger by thinking clearer. Winners understand this simple rule. How you feel is important, but what you do with how you feel, that's everything. Losers wait for motivation to strike. Winners act based on commitment, not emotions. Losers let moods govern their days. Winners let principles govern their lives. Does that mean you'll always feel good? No. But winners don't make decisions based on how they feel in the moment. They make decisions based on the life they are committed to building. Ask yourself, am I running my emotions or are my emotions running me? Am I reacting out of habit or responding out of wisdom? Because if you cannot control yourself, the world will control you. If you cannot master your anger, someone else will provoke you. If you cannot master your fear, circumstances will imprison you. But if you learn to master your emotions, if you learn to act with courage, patience, and clarity, then no storm can sink your ship. You'll stay steady. When others panic, you'll keep moving forward. When others quit, you'll win the battle. Most people lose the battle within. Remember, winning is not the absence of emotion. Winning is the mastery of it. Choose mastery. Choose strength. Choose to be bigger than the emotion of the moment. That's what separates the winners from the losers. Winners stay disciplined when motivation fades. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share a truth that separates amateurs from champions. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps you going. Motivation is wonderful. It feels good. It's exciting. It's that rush of energy you get when you start something new, when the dream is fresh, when the possibilities seem endless. But here's the problem. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation is based on feelings, and feelings change. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. But discipline, real discipline, shows up every day, whether the sun is shining or the storm is raging. Winners understand this. They don't rely on motivation to carry them through. They build systems, they build habits, they build a life where discipline runs the show, not emotion, not inspiration, not chance. Losers, on the other hand, are slaves to their moods. They do what needs to be done when they feel like it. And if they don't feel like it, they delay, they excuse, they drift. But here's the truth. You don't have to feel like it to do it. You don't have to be excited to show up. You don't have to be in the perfect mood to make progress. You just have to show up. Winners show up even on the days they don't feel like it, especially on those days, because they understand that greatness is built in the ordinary moments. The moments no one applauds, no one notices, no one even knows about. The great ones, the ones you admire, they built their success in the trenches of ordinary, unglamorous discipline. Now here's the secret. Discipline creates momentum. Say they think they need motivation to get results. No, you need action to get motivation. You need movement to create energy. Winners build discipline like a muscle. And just like any muscle, the more you train it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's hard. At first, you don't want to. At first, it feels uncomfortable. But over time, it becomes who you are. You become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. And that, my friends, is rare, and that is powerful. Ask yourself today, am I living by my commitments or by my emotions? Am I driven by discipline or distracted by mood? Because here's the reality. The life you want is hidden behind the work you're avoiding. Every time you show up tired, unmotivated, discouraged, and you still do the work, you are casting a vote for the future you desire. You are telling the world and yourself, I am serious. I am committed. I will not be denied by a bad mood. That's what winners do. They don't make promises to themselves and then break them because they feel differently the next day. They don't negotiate with laziness. They don't bargain with procrastination. They honor their word. They honor their mission. They honor their discipline because they know this simple truth. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. If you pay the price of discipline today, you get to live with the rewards tomorrow. But if you refuse, if you only move when you feel like it, you'll pay the far greater price of regret. And trust me, friends, regret is a bill you don't want to pay. So choose discipline, choose consistency, choose to show up no matter what, because when the motivation fades, and it will, discipline is what will carry you to the finish line. Winners associate with excellence, losers settle for comfort. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to change your life, let me give you a simple but profound truth. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. Winners know this, losers ignore it. See, the people around you are not neutral. They are either lifting you up or pulling you down. They are either inspiring you to grow or encouraging you to stay the same. And the truth is, excellence is contagious, but so is mediocrity. Winners are very intentional about their associations. They seek out excellence. They look for people who challenge them, who stretch them, who demand more of them. They want to be around others who have higher standards, bigger dreams, sharper minds, because they know if you associate with excellence, you rise. If you associate with comfort, you decay. You get paid for solving them. Winners know that in every problem lies the opportunity for a solution, and in every challenge, there's a chance to improve. They don't just see obstacles, they see stepping stones. They know that progress is built on facing problems head on, not avoiding them. So when you're faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What's the solution here? Because winners focus on the how to fix it, how to overcome it, how to use the situation to their advantage. Losers, on the other hand, get stuck in the why it's happening to them, why it's unfair, why it's someone else's fault. You see, problems are inevitable. They will come and they will test you. But it's not the problems that define your future, it's how you respond to them. Winners respond with action, with solutions, with resilience. Losers respond with excuses, with blame, with inaction. Think about it. You can't move forward by holding on to your complaints, your excuses, your negative focus. If you spend all your energy on the problems, you drain your power to find solutions. But if you direct your energy towards solving the problem, you empower yourself to move closer to your goal. Let me ask you today, are you a solution finder or problem passer? When you face obstacles, do you roll up your sleeves and get to work, or do you sit back and complain? Winners don't dwell on the problem. They focus on what can be done. Losers stay stuck in the problem. The truth is, the more you focus on finding solutions, the more you build a mindset of resilience, creativity, and success. You start seeing possibilities instead of limitations, and when you see possibilities, you start to unlock new paths to victory. Winners also understand that focusing on solutions doesn't mean ignoring the problems. It means recognizing the problem, but not allowing it to consume your focus or your energy. It means working through the challenge, using it as a chance to sharpen your skills, grow your mindset, and ultimately create the future you want. Ask yourself today, what are you focused on? Are you focused on the problems, or are you focusing on the solutions? Are you letting the obstacles define you, or are you letting your solutions define you? Remember this, where you focus, you finish. And the winners know that focusing on solutions is the only way to finish strong. You get rewarded for solving problems. You don't create a fulfilling life by focusing on why something can't be done. You create it by finding a way. Sometimes there isn't a clear path forward. At times, you have to make one. Winners are solution-oriented. They ask better questions. How can we fix this? What opportunities lie within this challenge? What resources do I already have but I'm not using? What can I do today to move closer to a solution? Losers ask questions too, but listen to the difference. Why does this always happen to me? Who's to blame? Why can't things ever be simple? Questions shape focus, and focus shapes outcome. You ask disempowering questions, you'll find disempowering answers. You ask empowering questions, you'll discover powerful solutions. But here's the key. Being solution-oriented doesn't mean ignoring the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean pretending there are no problems. It means refusing to be defined by those problems. It means choosing to believe and act as if there is always a way forward, because almost always there is. And the best part is that when you become a solution seeker, you become valuable in all areas of life, business, relationships, and leadership. Wherever you go, people will seek you out. Because the world has enough individuals pointing at the darkness. What it needs is more people lighting the way. Ask yourself today, am I feeding the problem or am I feeding the solution? Am I spending more time describing the issue or am I designing the answer? The longer you focus on a problem, the larger it becomes. The moment you shift your focus to the solution, energy, hope, and strength return. This is what winners know. Problems are not stop signs. They are signposts pointing toward better strategies. Every solution you create builds your confidence. Every problem you overcome sharpens your skills. Every breakthrough becomes a brick in the fortress of your success. Remember, losers make the problem bigger. Winners make themselves bigger than the problem. Focus where it matters. Focus on solutions, because your future depends on it. Winners act with integrity. Losers look for shortcuts. If you want real, lasting success, not just temporary achievements, here's a foundational truth. Winners build their lives on integrity. Losers take chances with shortcuts. Integrity is not just about honesty when others are watching, it's about honesty when no one is around. It's about doing what's right, not what's easy. It's about playing the long game, not seeking immediate rewards. Here's the secret. Integrity is invisible at first, but it becomes visible over time. Initially, it may seem like the shortcuts are working. It may appear that those who cheat are getting ahead, that cutting corners is the smart move. But over time, wait and see. Character, like a tree, takes time to establish its roots. Eventually, the shortcutters will be exposed. The foundation they built their success on was weak, and when pressure comes, it will collapse. Winners understand this. They know that while shortcuts might seem tempting, they are expensive. They cost you your credibility, your reputation, and ultimately the very success you were pursuing. Let me tell you something. Success built without integrity is like a house of cards, and the wind will always come. Real winners build slowly and strongly. They take the extra time to do things right. They make the tough decisions. They take the harder path today so they can enjoy the rewards tomorrow. Now, here's a painful truth. Integrity doesn't always pay off immediately. Sometimes it feels like you're losing. Sometimes it feels like you're being overlooked. Sometimes it seems like the dishonest and those who cheat are advancing faster. But hear this, you're not losing. You're building something they can't take away. You're creating something that will endure. Because while shortcuts may offer quick rewards, only integrity provides lasting results. Winners don't just care about reaching their goal, they care about how they get there. They want to look in the mirror without regret. They want to sleep soundly at night, knowing their conscience is clear. They aim to build something their family, children, and community can be proud of. Ask yourself today, am I building slow and strong or fast and fragile? Am I more concerned with speed or with doing it right? Am I focused on seeking applause today or leaving a legacy tomorrow? Because you're always planting seeds of character or seeds of compromise, and harvest time always comes. Let me be clear. Winners are not perfect. They make mistakes and they slip up. But here's the difference. When winners slip, they correct course. They apologize if needed, they learn from the experience, and they rebuild. Losers, on the other hand, look for the next shortcut when they get caught. They double down on their deception, hoping to outsmart the consequences. But no one escapes the law of the harvest. You don't grow corn from planting weeds, and you don't build lasting success on dishonesty. Winners understand it's not just about getting to the destination, it's about who you become along the way. Success without integrity is just an illusion. But success with integrity, that's a fortress. It can endure storms and stand the test of time. So today, commit to building slowly, strongly, and truthfully. While others rush toward shortcuts, take the steady path. While others bend the rules, stand firm. Because shortcuts may be tempting, but integrity is transformative. And winners are real. Winners persist through failure. Losers quit at frustration. If there's a key difference between those who succeed and those who don't, it's this. Winners persist through failure. Losers quit at frustration. Let's be clear about something. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. It's woven into the process, a necessary part of the journey. It's the tuition you pay for achievement. Winners know this. They expect failure. They're not surprised by setbacks or discouraged by obstacles. They understand that stumbling is not the same as falling. It's simply learning. Losers, on the other hand, believe failure is final. They think that one rejection, one setback, one disappointment is the end. And when frustration hits, and it will, they quit, they back down, they shrink, they look for an easy way out. But hear this, frustration is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to grow. The question isn't if you'll face frustration, you will. The real question is, what will you do when it comes? Will you retreat or rise? Winners rise. They adjust, adapt, and innovate. They double down on their commitment, not their excuses. They understand that frustration is simply feedback, a message saying, not this way, try another. They see failure as a temporary detour, not a dead-end street. Think about it. Every breakthrough you admire was built on a foundation of setbacks. Every champion you respect has faced defeat, embarrassment, and pain. The world sees the trophies, but it rarely sees the lonely nights, the broken plans, the silent tears behind the scenes. Persistence may not be glamorous, but it's essential. It's doing the work when no one is watching. It's showing up even when the applause is absent. It's believing when everything around you says it's not working. Let me share a truth with you. Frustration is a test. It's life asking, how badly do you want this? Winners answer that test with action. They let frustration fuel them, not defeat them. They turn frustration into motivation, not a reason to quit. Losers, however, respond with surrender. They let frustration decide their fate when it was only meant to be a temporary obstacle. Ask yourself today, when frustration strikes, do I slow down or do I dig deeper? Do I let failure define me or do I let it refine me? Because success is stubborn. It doesn't yield to the easily discouraged, nor does it open its doors to the half-hearted. Success demands that you keep knocking even when your knuckles bleed. It demands that you keep climbing even when the summit is lost in the clouds. Persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, even the brightest dream will fade. But with it, even the most impossible dream can come to life. Remember, every master was once a disaster. Every winner started as a beginner. Every champion was once a struggler who refused to quit. You might stumble, fall, or crawl, but as long as you don't quit, you win. Because in the end, winners are not those who never fail. Winners are the ones who refuse to stay down. Persist. Persist again. And when frustration screams at you to stop, persist louder. That's what separates winners from losers. The choice is always yours. After everything we've discussed, every principle we've uncovered, it all comes down to one undeniable truth. The choice is always yours. Not once, not twice, but every single day. Every day you face a crossroads. One path leads to discipline, growth, and excellence. The other leads to excuses, decay, and regret. Winners and losers stand at the same crossroads. They face the same challenges, the same emotions, the same opportunities. The difference isn't what happens to them, it's what they choose when it happens. Winners choose responsibility over blame. They choose discipline over comfort. They choose learning over pride. They choose persistence over frustration. They choose integrity over shortcuts and those choices, those small, invisible, daily choices. Build a life worth living. Losers don't make one huge, disastrous decision. No, they make thousands of small ones. They choose the easy way just for today. They choose to wait just one more day. They lower their standards just this once. And over time, those choices stack up. One day they wake up to a life they never wanted, a life they built by accident. But here's the good news. You can choose differently. Starting today, you don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to decide. Decide that you won't hand your future over to circumstance. Decide you won't live at the mercy of moods or moments. Decide to be the architect of your own life, brick by brick, choice by choice. And when you fall, and you will, you choose to rise. When you doubt, and you will, you choose to believe. And when the road is hard, and it will be, you choose to keep, because your destiny isn't written by fate, it's written by your choices. Remember this, you don't get the life you wish for, you get the life you work for. You don't get the results you dream about, you get the results you discipline yourself to create. So I challenge you today and every day going forward. Choose the path of the winner. Choose excellence over ease. Choose action over apathy. Choose growth over comfort. Hey, because in the end, it's not about who's lucky or who's talented, it's about who's willing. Willing to choose wisely, consistently, and courageously. Your future is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. And the choice has always been yours. So as you reflect on everything we've discussed today, ask yourself, which path are you walking right now? Are you choosing the hard road? The one that requires persistence, discipline, and integrity? Or are you giving into the easy way out, settling for shortcuts and excuses? The difference between winners and losers isn't just about where they end up. It's about what they choose every single day. Winners are the ones who rise after every fall, who persist when it feels impossible, push through the frustration because they know success isn't just about reaching the goal, it's about becoming the person who deserves that success. If you're ready to stop making excuses, to rise above your challenges, and to start making the right choices that will transform your future, then it's time to take action. Don't let your life be defined by moments of doubt. Choose the winner's path and let every decision move you one step closer to the success you're capable of.